Glad to have you join us again, everyone. I am Adesewa Josh, and this is Africa Matters. The UK government is pushing ahead with a plan to deport young asylum seekers to Rwanda. But rights groups say the Central African nation only has the capacity to house a limited number of migrants. We go to Nigeria now, where authorities have activated a monkeypox emergency response, including placing a ban on sales and consumption of bushmeat. It comes after dozens of cases, including multiple deaths, were confirmed in the country. The UN says many African migrants choose the dangerous Mediterranean route to Europe because they have limited access to legal migration channels compared to other nationalities. Now let's hear more from Hassan Kanenji. He is the director of the Horn Institute for Strategic Studies. He joins me from Nairobi. Thank you so much for making our time. What do you think is driving the current stereotype about migrants from Africa? And what is the more realistic picture? But what should justice look like for survivors and victims' relatives? And how feasible is that justice? Do we know what the motivation behind these renewed killings are? The armed gangs claim they're not after money. You're watching Africa Matters, and here is a roundup of other stories making news across the continent.
Good to have you back with us, Adesewa. So voting has been underway for around 5 hours now. Can you just tell us how it's been going so far?
The voters behind me have been queuing since 4 a.m., that's 1 GMT, just waiting to cast their vote. Voting was meant to start at 6 a.m., but it didn't start until like 6:30. The people got a little agitated, and guess what happened? They stormed into the polling center, left where they were queuing outside in a little bit. It was still slightly cold at the time, but only for them to get into the polling center, calm down, sort themselves into queue because they are ready to vote. Now, these people, many of them, work in the informal sector. Raila, a former prime minister, chose Martha Karua, a lawyer and former justice minister, while Ruto, the incumbent deputy president, teamed up with Rigathi Gachagua, a member of parliament and a strong critic of his boss, President Uhuru Kenyatta. It's been more than a year since Gambian President Adama Barrow took office, ending more than 2 decades of oppressive rule by former President Yahya Jammeh. 1 year on, there have been some reforms, and the country enjoys greater freedom of speech. But many Gambians are still expecting the new Gambia Barrow promised. Unfortunately, not much has changed for the Gambia in terms of economy. Do you have an economic plan to take Gambia to the destination you imagined when you became president?
I don't think that question is very fair on our side.
And so people are criticizing, is Uganda heading towards hereditary rule? It's not a strategic political positioning for him to take over as president?
No, it was just his birthday.